Welcome back to the Built for Profit podcast. Guys, Cam and I were just chatting before we clicked record, and I am thrilled to start this conversation with her. She's actually 20 minutes down the road from me, such a small world in the Birmingham area. And I'm just pumped to chat with her about the business that she's building. She is a mom of four. And so we were talking about the kiddos and what that looks like and how far apart they are in age. And Cam, I'm just fired up that you're just passionate, obviously, about being a mom and then passionate about building children's books for people. So Cam, get us kicked off here, I guess, with just who Cam is. How did you even get into the world of writing children's books? And just let us know how that played out.
Awesome. Well, Austin, thank you for having me. I am thrilled to be here. So my story starts with mama four, and we actually homeschooled for a lot of years. And when I was homeschooling, I was looking for resources of what to teach my kids. And I couldn't really find a lot. And I ended up writing a children's book called Freedom Friends Discovering
Nice.
America's Promise. And it's about
Mm,
life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and making
yeah.
sure kids know the importance of our nation. So after I wrote the book and got it out, I had to sell it and I had to try to create a brand from scratch.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
Austin, you and all the business owners watching know it's very challenging to build a brand from scratch,
Yep.
especially to try to sell a children's book. After a while, when I wasn't as successful as I wanted to be, I started looking for partners and people that can help in creating that village. And I finally got a call from Turning Point USA,
Oh, wow.
and they actually asked their education, this Turning Point Education
Okay.
branch, and they asked if they could use my book in one of their curriculum kits. So we
Cool.
worked together and created a curriculum kit that has Freedom Friends in it. Watching how that process with partnering with them and how they took ownership of the book and how they created this like living campaign with it started sparking some creativity and some ideas. And I'm not sure if you know this, but women actually they control 85% of consumer spend.
Well, I did not know that. Interesting. Okay.
It's wild. It's wild. It's true. And they actually they they pay and buy 50% of traditional men's products too. So they're like
Oh,
all
interesting.
in the consumer spend. Kids influence parents their spending decisions by 90%. That's what parents say, that 90% of their decision making is influenced by their kids, which is about $165 billion a
Oh, my
year.
gosh. Yeah.
It's crazy. And so when I saw that facts and
Yeah.
moms and kids, basically young families, I realized that there was a huge opportunity for me to take my passion in writing children's books and combine it with trying to connect with those young families
Yeah.
and those purchasing decision makers. So I created Books Built,
Yep.
and Books Built is for brands to supercharge their marketing by
Love
creating
it.
custom children's books that they can use as promotional tools. So they
Oh,
create
cool.
their own characters, their own stories, and they promote them in an educational and fun, good moral, empowering way. And right now, we're the only ones out there doing it and
Yeah.
providing this whole from beginning to end one stop shop. So it's a
Yeah.
really exciting place to be right now.
Okay. That is the story along the way and the different phases is fascinating to me. So number one, I'm curious, obviously, writing your first children's book, getting that up. And then I'm curious, how did you even get to the connection with Turning Point USA? Like, how did they find you? How did that play out?
All right. So I'm going to go and be a little personal with you, but I actually prayed for a resource and that book came to me in the middle of the night. Like just
Wow.
popped into my head, wrote the book in the middle of the night. So that book, number one, is a message. I reached out and emailed lots of people from different companies and different places. And just by the grace of God, did they respond to me and say, "Hey, we really like this. And we really like the sample you sent in," because I sent out samples to everyone. "And we would like to partner with you." So it
Yeah.
was just trying to reach out. And they are the ones that came back. And they actually, for a while, gave away the free kits for free to
Wow.
homeschool
Okay.
families and
Yeah.
schools. So now there's a digital download option
Okay.
available too.
Man, okay, this is fascinating. I love it so much. Okay, so coach us up a little bit. How do you what is like when you first are interacting with one of your clients and like walking them through that process? What does that look like? I mean, what's the onboarding phase look like? I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of like coming on board and I'm like about to create this book. Like, what does that even look like?
Yeah, so we have a process, it's called building blocks.
Yep.
So our building blocks is basically we get in a room when if we can get in a room and be in person, that's the best. I love
Yeah.
the energy that you can feel and kind of pull off of people. But Zoom calls work great as well. And we basically go through the whole brainstorming, character creation, storylines, themes. What kind of products do you want? How do you want to give these away? Like what size? And
Yeah.
one of the best ways that I explain it to them when I'm in there is like, this is like a Happy Meal toy for any brand to
Yeah.
be able to give in any way that they can, or like a college mascot. Like
Yeah.
everybody loves the college mascots, Obby or
Yeah.
Roll Tide. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody wants to have a character, and it
Yeah.
really
That's a
does
great
connect
point.
with people. So,
Yeah. That is fascinating. I love what you're doing because it just like you said, I've never thought about like even universities or companies, any of those things having this branded mascot almost, or just like this character, like you're saying, that kind of propels their brand forward. I love that so much. So what does the back end of it look like? Okay, you create the character. Is it like is the deliverable a book that's talking about your brand and the character of your brand, or what's the deliverable look like once you finish that process?
yes, I am so glad you asked that. So, at the end of our process, we actually go through the whole printing. So, I
Yeah,
actually act as the printing press as well. We have domestic and international sources that
yeah,
we use, and we deliver it to their warehouse or to wherever they need. But we actually create physical, tangible books. This is one of our
so cool. Yeah,
Gary Ho's Yum Yum sauce for any of y'all. But they actually have cute little things and then a marketing page. So the marketing page
very cool.
actually provides these tangible products for families, moms, kids to read and reread and reread, which
Yeah,
builds brand loyalty.
yeah.
And it has a call to action on the marketing page so that they can go to your website and check it out, or a kids club, get your email, more engagement on social media, you
Yeah.
name it. It's
This
great.
is fascinating, Cam, because obviously it all ties back to what you told us at the beginning of like the power that women and then women with families have in the consumer market. And
Yeah.
then having these things in the living rooms and in the kids' rooms of like, a bunch of homes all across America. I think that is just such a brilliant idea. That's fascinating. I love
It's
it. Okay, so could you tell us a little bit about like how long have you been doing this? What does it look like along the journey? I mean, kind of tell us like what did it look like at the very beginning and what you're dreaming about, I guess, over the next 5 years as well.
So it's kind of funny when we started creating this and thinking, okay, let's do this. We knew Terry Ho and reached out to him, and he was like, I love this idea. I have great morals. Like he wanted to do honesty is the best policy,
Yeah.
being true to yourself, and he actually gives them away to his local schools every
Cool.
year. He repurchases them and buys them to give away to the school kids to increase literacy and then to give back to the community. And so when we saw that, we were like, this is a really great opportunity. So we started creating a list of all the industries that we wanted to go after and target segments
Very
and started reaching out and trying to go in person, cold calling, all of that. And we've got a few clients that are just amazing and understand this process.
yeah.
And some have turned it into stuffies, some
Yeah.
have turned to stickers. Some have turned it into mascots that they actually dress up in at the events.
So
And
cool.
one of my favorites are the little holes where you put your head in
Oh,
so
yeah.
that kids can actually become the characters. So it just really has come to life and seeing the kids' reactions is amazing. So
Yeah.
this past year has been really implementing the book process and creating these industry examples. This in the next 5 years, I would love for Booksville to become the next must have in marketing. So, like right now, to start a business, you have to have a website, you have to have social media.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to connect with young families, you have to have books built.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I imagine and picture. And one of the great things is going through Chick-fil-A drive-through.
Yeah.
Okay, right now you can get a kids meal, you can get a toy with it. And then what they've done now is created this like barcode where you can scan it and watch these characters come to life and have a video on your phone.
Okay. I've seen that, yes.
Yes, and the kids love it. My kids love it. They're like, "I wanna scan it. I wanna see the new video." This is, like, I think the 3rd or 4th year that they've done these
Yeah,
Christmas videos.
yeah.
So my idea for the future for Books Built is that a CEO goes through that drive-through, sees that connection with the kid and says, "I want that for my brand.
Yeah.
How do I do it?" Books Built is the answer. Like, we're there. We
Cam,
create the
I love
customers,
this.
create the stories, we build a living campaign.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so obviously there's a whole separate department, I guess, in the future of your company that you're dreaming about that's literally just like the video creation side of these books and pages that
All
y'all
of
are
it.
currently developing.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, like, even before we had kids, I was sucked into those videos as an adult.
Yes. I
I
know,
go to
same,
so I
same.
go to yeah, because 'cause I've seen those Christmas videos at Chick-fil-A every time they release them, and I'll scan that QR code and check it out. I just think it's fascinating, and it's heartwarming, and it's just I don't know, it's awesome, and I love your passion behind doing something very, very similar for
Yes.
everybody's brand. I think
For
that's
everybody,
so
any
cool.
brand, any size.
Okay, I love this. All right, so right now in the current season of your business, what do you feel like that you have momentum in that you're like, hey, we're firing on all cylinders on this piece? And then on the flip side of that, I'm curious, what do you feel like is the biggest bottleneck for? I mean, do you need that videographer department like tomorrow kind of thing? Or like, what do you feel like is the current bottleneck right now?
Okay, so what we have momentum in first is we've gotten like 100% positive feedback. Like when you explain the process and like you're getting all fired up about it, like
Yeah,
brands get fired up about it because
yeah,
they can visualize their brand as a character that really connects with kids. So
yeah,
the momentum we have is that we get 100% positive feedback. One of the challenges for that though is that when you get to the big brands, like some of the bigger fast food industry, like for example, they get so excited, but then they're like, "Okay, wait, what do we really want this to look like?" So they kinda have to step back because
yeah,
their brand is so big, they have to really take time to figure out, what do we want the characters to look like? What do we want them to represent?
yeah,
What's the theme behind it? And so they take a little bit more time to decide on it as opposed to, like, a medium-sized brand who's more flexible and
yeah,
they
for sure.
know, "Hey, let's do this, let's just roll with it." So that's kind of the great momentum that we have. Now the bottleneck, I'm gonna have to be reflective, is me. I have to get out of my own way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So my natural instinct is to think of issues before they happen.
yeah,
So what I'm trying to really work on is moving forward with the business and just dealing with the issues as they arise
yeah, yeah, that's good.
instead of thinking of things that could go wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it probably makes you a super mom because you have that skill set, right? But I get that for sure because I fall into that trap as well from a standpoint of like thinking about analyzing, overanalyzing. Actually, at one of my previous jobs, the continual feedback I got was analysis by whatever that phrase, analysis paralysis, right? Because it just prevents you from moving forward because you're overanalyzing the future that you don't even know what's going to happen. And so, yeah, and honestly, I love that answer, Cam, because I think when everybody really, especially business owners, when they think about the true bottlenecks to take their business to the next level,
Mhm.
the leadership mentality has to point back to us, right? I feel the exact same way about our business as well. Like the bottleneck right now is my ability to give, train and develop more people. So I'm not the person holding anybody back to help us get to the next level. And I think that's just a beautiful way to always think about your business as you get to each level in the future. So I love that so much.
Yes, yes, and I don't know, have you read Extreme Ownership?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a
Ah,
great,
I'm
great book.
reading that right now, and it's helpful. It's so helpful.
Yeah. It just takes, that's right. It gives you a whole different lens of just like, it's nobody else's fault. It's
That's
it's
right,
all it's all on me. I'm gonna take responsibility for all of it and continue to move forward. So I love that.
and it helps with parenting too.
Yes, that's so true. That's great. I'm gonna be leaning on you a little bit, like we were talking about earlier. We have a 14-month-old, so
Yes.
you're a little season ahead of me, Cam. But I need to get some wisdom from those ahead, so we can have that extreme ownership in the parenting world. I love it so much. I'm
Absolutely.
curious, going back real quick to you obviously developing books built and then doing this for companies. When people go as far as saying like we're going to create a mascot and we're going to order material for that and we're going to show up at these events, do you like you give them the branding material, but do you actually help them with like the development of like even like creating an Albie for their company?
So, that's what's so fun about it too, is that my husband's background is sourcing. And
Okay.
so he knows how to do all of that. So if the brand does need help with that, we are right there to help them with the stuffies, the mascot costume, you name it, we do it. So
Wow.
it's actually really fun because I get to partner with my husband on a lot of these projects too.
That is so fascinating, Cam. I love that. So you really become like a one-stop shop for these people as they dream about everything they want to do with what you originally created in the brainstorming room, I guess, at the very beginning.
Yes.
That is so
Oh,
neat.
it's us.
I love it. All right, so tell me a little bit, like, how do you think about as you're growing in this business and even dreaming about like creating videos for brands down the road and people scanning the QR code at all these different brands? What do you feel like is like the metrics or the things that you go back to track to say like, yeah, this if I know this about my business, I know that we're healthy. I know we're in a good place and we'll continue to grow. And if these metrics are bad, then we need to adjust and kind of improve. So what does that look like for your company?
So right now, at the baby phases, I call it, what we're doing is really focusing on the conversion rates for our
Yeah.
sales. So we're trying really hard to focus on that every day to see what's working, what's not. Is
Yeah.
our sales pipeline working? Because if it's not, we're going to have a lull in business and then
Yeah.
we're just going to be sitting. So right now, we're really focusing on the conversion rates to see and make sure and to reevaluate so
Yeah.
that we can have a full pipeline for the future.
I love it. And then what is your mode right now of trying to get new clients or just how do you even get your brand out there to let people know about who you are? You obviously on social media, but what other stuff are you doing to kind of get your name out there?
Yes. So, what we have found most successful is going to conferences. So, I'm going to
Sure.
actually go to a conference in December. I have all the main hitters that I'm going to try to meet up with and talk with. And in person, when you can explain it and show it, it's almost 100% conversion rate, which is amazing. But you and I both know you don't have time to go to conferences every day.
Yeah.
So on the back end, what we're trying to do is send emails to good contacts that we know. And what I've actually done is my daughter, who's 12, she loves drawing and she loves art. And I've asked her to help me by using AI to
Okay.
create sample book covers. So they won't be like the actual book covers, but they create sample book colors because people are super visual.
Yeah.
And so if they can see an example of their brand using a character and reaching out, then they're more likely to be curious at least and respond. So my daughter helps me with making the AI covers, and then we
Yeah.
send them out to the customers or potential clients so that
Yeah.
they can see what it might look like.
That is so awesome, Cam. I love that you're building that process out. So you were targeting, I guess you're out there and targeting ideal clients or customers that would fit the mold for what you would want to build for them, and already creating value to them by just saying like, we're going to go ahead and create something for you just so you can see and send your way. So how are you like? Are you scouring the internet to say like, this is a good brand, this is a good brand that would fit for us, or like, how do you even find the ideal clients that you're pursuing out there?
That's a great question. What we've done is we've looked at industries that are trying to reach young families or that could
Yeah.
potentially target young families. So,
Yeah.
nonprofits that are educational towards kids, or banks, credit unions, that
Yeah.
financial literacy, food industry, not just fast food, but restaurants or sauces or, any of those type of things, retail, anyone that's trying to connect with the young family. So we take the industries and then honestly, I've used AI to help me whittle
Yeah.
it down to companies that are medium size, that are more flexible, that have a marketing department that could
Yeah.
support one of these projects, that are trying to reach and target young families.
Yeah.
So we go through there, and then I actually do have an EA that helps me with, or
Yeah.
a VA, excuse me, a virtual assistant
Yeah.
that helps me with going through and qualifying the leads. And then once
Well,
leads are qualified, then we follow up.
I love it. Are you picking up the phone and calling? Are you email
Yeah.
or a little bit of both? Let's go.
Yeah. And I will tell you, whenever I call to follow up on the email, I've had almost the 75-80% callback rate,
No
which
way.
is amazing because usually I'm trying to call like the director or the CMO
Yeah.
and you don't expect them to call back and then they do and you're like, "Yes." But
Yeah.
it's great. I mean, like they're interested because it's a savvy marketing tool that's new
Yeah.
and nobody's really doing it.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. I love it. Okay, you mentioned a little bit about AI and letting your daughter kind of leverage that AI just for the promotional stuff.
Mhm.
Is there anything else in your business now that you're also trying to lean into for creation or operations or anything like that?
So I'm so excited you asked that question because what we are trying to do is get enough sales to invest back into our business and create an AI SaaS platform that will
Yep.
allow any brand of any size, even an individual, to create that custom children's books from beginning to end and be able to print it on demand.
My gosh, Cam.
It's
Okay, let's
it's going to be amazing.
so I wanna dive into this a little bit just to even see
Yeah.
how the process would work, but would it be almost a version of you replicating a little bit of, like, the brainstorming session? Just like, I'm just picturing in my head if I went on and you had this AI system built, it's prompting me with certain questions that I respond with about my brand and all these things, and then it kinda leads me in through the process, just me and a computer or me and AI to get to
Yes.
that end result, or is that kinda what you envision, or kinda talk to me about that?
Yeah, so basically, when you ask ChatGPT to give you ideas or any AI,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
give you ideas. Okay. So you go from there. So if you know your brand and you input, okay, this is my brand, this is what I want to portray, this is the message that I want to give to kids, I need a character that will represent my brand. And you give them the website and all that stuff. It will populate all the stuff. You get to choose it. And then from there, you can say, okay, give me some ideas for stories or themes. And then it'll go through that process to the point where you can say, okay, now I need a 12-page, 24-page, rhyming, not rhyming,
Yeah.
whatever, all the different things to put in. And it'll actually, what I envision is it prompts you to say, do you want to rhyme? Do you want it
Yeah, yeah,
free
yeah.
prose or all that stuff? And they just click and paste and then go through an editing process of easy editing, not like spending hours of what they want and then creating a character and then keeping that character consistent throughout the book. And then at the end, outputting a fully print ready PDF to send to the printer.
Oh my gosh. I love
Yes.
this so much, Cam. That's gonna be yeah, because then at the end of the day, people are able to create those things without, like, your personal time to have to invest in, and they just walk through something that basically has your brain behind it, but
Mhm.
is doing it inside of their brand. Uh,
Yes.
wow, that's
And the reason why we did that too is because, at our illustration process, even though it's the most magical part of our process because it literally brings these ideas and characters to
yeah,
life, it is the longest part
yeah,
of our process and it's the most costly part of our
yeah,
process. So it prevents some brands and individual people who want to do this from being able to afford it just to see if it works. So what
yeah,
we're looking at is, this being able to be utilized for any brand to supercharge their marketing system
yeah,
and create it for people. So it should be amazing.
yeah, that's so cool. So, yeah, currently right now, y'all's illustration department, are y'all just using literally cartoonists? Or, is that how you say cartoon artists?
We have teams of illustrators, yes.
Wow, okay, that is fascinating. I love that so much. Okay, so going back, obviously, this is called the Built for Profit podcast. I just always love diving into that. But is there anything you wish you would have known maybe now or earlier from a standpoint of like operating with margin, saving, reserves to kind of invest in the growth? Kind of talk to me how you a little bit how you think about profit or even pricing, I guess, from a standpoint of your customers to make sure that not only are you paying you and your team, but then you also have the margin in there to reinvest for growth.
Yes. So what I wish I had known sooner was to make sure that I allocated a profit for my time and effort. Because,
Yeah,
you always say, okay, this is what it costs, and then the profit for this and going that, but then making sure that the time and effort that you're putting into it, that you're actually getting paid for that. So that, and then I use that money now that I have allocated for my time and effort as a means to reinvest. So
yeah, yeah.
I'm not necessarily taking a lot of profit out of it. I'm more so reinvesting so that we can get to that future point that I want to be at for Books Built.
Yeah, that's so good, Cam, because I think depending on the season of your business, right, there's like there's things that you have to think through. How do I use this margin or this profit in my business for the
Yes.
future of what we're looking at? But I do love that. In fact, I recommend this to everybody, but there's a great book out there called Profit First that basically forces you to prioritize profit, right? So every time you get paid, you skim exactly what your percentage is off the top of that amount that just got dumped into
Love
your bank
that.
account, and you force your business to push it aside so that you operate off of the remaining and
Mhm.
then you allowed it then you have the option and opportunity really, or I guess use your creative ability to say, what's the best use of that money now that's out of sight, out of mind, because we're operating with margin. So, yeah,
That's brilliant. I love that.
that's so cool. I love it. Okay, talk us through, is there anything else that you're dreaming about? Or, I mean, I just love the videography thing that's coming down the pipeline. Is there anything else that you're just kind of fired up in this season that we haven't talked about today?
So, one of the main things that I am looking forward to the most is that being able to travel with my families to these events for the clients where
Very cool.
they are giving away these books, they are presenting the mascots, they have stickers, they have all that. These reactions from kids and the connections, it really is magical. And to be able to experience that in person and to be able to capture those moments would be my ideal. Like, that would be the best part, and to be able to share with my family,
Yeah,
and for them to see that you can have a plan, you can execute the plan and be
yeah.
successful, and that would be just my goal.
I love it. And Cam, all I'm envisioning is your daughter that's helping you with the AI promotions to send those out. I think it would be the coolest experience when you go to one of these things and you have your daughter there with you and you're like, "You remember that thing that you created on AI like 8 months ago? That's what this is." That is like, I think that's gonna be a very magical experience when you get to experience that with your kids. That's really, really cool.
It's so empowering.
Yeah, I love it, and to see that that's such a great point, like, they had a part in this, which is, like,
Mhm.
such a cool thing that you're including your family in what you're building. I think, one of the things that I feel like even I fall into this trap as well is that as we build as business owners, it's it's almost easier to isolate. You got your business building and then your family time, and then they never blend in. But I
Yes.
just think, like, when you have kids, they just wanna be a part of what you're doing as a parent, and I think to invite them into your world is just such a cool thing. I love that you're doing that, Cam. That's really neat.
Yes, and they do wanna be a part of it because they
Yeah,
see how hard you're working on what you're doing, and they just wanna know, and they just wanna appreciate it and be a part of it, so you're gonna be great. Like, your kids are gonna love everything that you're doing.
I love it. That's so cool, Cam. Okay, if anybody wants to know more about Cam or your business, where do they go to find you?
Awesome. You can go to booksbuilt.com to find more examples about the business. You can follow me on Instagram at StoryMomAI, and you can also follow me on LinkedIn at Cameron Marasco and Booksbuilt.
I love it. We will put all that in the show notes so everybody can find you. Cam, thanks so much for just talking about your vision, telling us what you're dreaming about, giving us the backstory of what you're building. And so just really appreciated the conversation. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.